What's going on? So, I'm a full-time employed, and this week I have the week off. The week of 4th of July, and one thing our shop does is give us the week off. And I've had a lot of free time because it's an unusual break to have, and a lot of my friends still work this week, and I don't. So, I have a lot of free time. And one thing I've noticed from getting this huge amount of time is that I don't really know what to do with it. Another thing I've noticed is my attention span and my dopamine threshold, let's call it. I've noticed that it's awful, and I've been trying to do a lot of things to help myself get rid of this need for constant content, constant dopamine, constant, stimulation to my brain. Because having a large amount of dopamine to get you to being minimal, to get you to be normal, that's not a good thing to have because in everyday life, the amount of dopamine that you get from just living life, not being on your phone, is not as much as you probably think it is. I think the biggest problem stems obviously from, social media, things like YouTube, Instagram, but the biggest issue clearly is not just content, because there's plenty of long form content like Sam Sulek. There's hours and hours of footage and videos on YouTube of just people that make, 2 hour long documentaries about something completely niche. It could be something about a band, it could be about a movie, it could be about some series that is, unknown. But like I said, I think the issue stems obviously from short form content. Stuff like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks. That kind of content has completely rotted away the dopamine threshold. The amount of dopamine you get when you're scrolling for hours on end is unreal because you don't know what you're going to get for a video, what's next. Things just kind of get recommended to you. And a lot of it is just unnecessary. A lot of the videos aren't even really things that you want to see. But once you get that one video that's really interesting, that one video that is something that you want to see, it kind of hooks you on, and then it feeds you another 5 minutes of just garbage, and then just one more video that you like to see, I guess. Obviously, nowadays, what companies need from us is our attention, because then they sell it to advertisers, and attention and traffic is what gets companies to succeed, especially like YouTube and Instagram. So traffic and viewer retention is what is successful for these companies. They want your views, they want your attention, they want your time that you have, and time is something that's a limited resource to all of us. But most importantly, one thing that I realize is, like I said, I'm on break. I have a lot of free time now, and something I've done sit on my phone all day, and in the evening I was so irritable. I was someone that is not pleasant to be around. And that got me thinking, how could someone do this every single day, even though I just did it all day? And it just was kind of concerning, even over one day, to see what just a constant flow of dopamine, constant flow of TikTok, or I don't have TikTok, but YouTube Shorts is the same thing. But having that constant flow of just dopamine and just like video after video of short form, no patience required, just scroll till the end of time, got me thinking that there's a serious issue with short form content and just this kind of thing in general. I feel like for a while back in the 2010s, when Vine was a thing, Vine was the only short form content out there that was really catching on, and other features and apps like Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, that stuff didn't exist. You went to Vine for short form content, and then you went to YouTube for long form. But now it's like everywhere because companies realize that when you have short form content, people tend to stay on the app longer than they would if they were just there to watch one or two creators on YouTube. Say like Ray William Johnson or something like that, someone back in the day. But now what is king on YouTube is short form content, and not YouTubers necessarily, but more so ideas and trends and concepts where everybody can have like their little 15 minutes of fame. But in this instance, it's more like 5 seconds. But when I was growing up, shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok was not a thing, and people really liked individual YouTubers. Um, Kind of all the guys from FaZe Clan were those kind of people. But there's a lot of people that were famous for just being themselves and making their own unique content. But a lot of people get famous now who, in my opinion, don't deserve to be famous because they're not creative in any way. What they make is not like artwork at all. It's more so who can use Mr. Beast's name, who can use the right hashtags or whatever, who can use the right trends. And a lot of it is catered towards children because that's the biggest demographic on YouTube is just kids. That's why you see a lot of really bright colors, you see a lot of exaggerated emotions because that's what draws kids to click on videos. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. Kids don't know what's right from wrong. Kids don't know what's good for them. And this kind of slop is getting fed to them day in and day out, and it's clearly eroding their circuitry of their brain. I don't want to be that guy that's like, "Oh, back in my day." But back in my day, there was a lot more long form content, and I think just as a whole, you know, it's a lesser of two evils because it doesn't set your dopamine level so high. But the older I get, the more I try to stick to long form content, the more I try to stick to videos where people really try and give an effort into what they're making. And you can easily see who's putting in work, you can easily see who's putting in an effort to make videos for themselves, to make money, who's trying to just like ride on a trend or whatever. And you can also see that there's a lot of people that actually try, they put in their hard work, and they don't really get anywhere with it because it's not something that's really bright. It's not something that's really, in your face that's getting drawn to a lot of people. So basically, I just want people to kind of challenge themselves in a way to get rid of their social media. You don't have to delete your accounts. You don't have to get rid of it. Just delete the app and just see how much better your life is going to be. See how much happier you're going to be because you're not going to have this constant flow of dopamine that's like setting this level for you. You're going to see your attention span is a lot better. You're going to see that the things that you were interested in before are coming back to you, the things that you found interesting. Everything becomes more interesting and more clear, and you're kind of more in the moment of life. You feel a lot better. And that was something I implemented when I was younger, and I will stick by it. I always talk about in my videos that getting rid of social media is like one of the best decisions you can make, especially nowadays. Not in the terms of, being successful or anything, but just so that you can be someone that enjoys your life more. And like I said, you don't have to delete your profiles and all that. If I want to check in on someone or visit someone's Instagram page or whatever, I just download the app, I do what I was going to do, and I just get rid of it. Because I don't need it past that point because I'm just going to be doom scrolling. One more point that I want to make is that your time is precious. You have a very limited amount of it, and you're giving it away by just sitting there and doom scrolling. You're giving it away by just sitting on these apps that completely drain you, drain your humanity, and take away joy from your life even when you're not using them. You know? It's just something that I wish for everyone to be able to use, that they can improve themselves. Something that people can implement into their life, that they can improve their life with, something that people can take and kind of just enjoy life more. It's beautiful outside. There's so many things to do. And no, it sounds so typical. It sounds so, oh yeah, of course someone's going to say, get off your phone, go outside and enjoy the world. But there is truth to that claim. There's a lot to see out there, a lot of people to meet, and it's so depressing to me that I know there's people out there that are spending their time just inside on their phone or on their computer or whatever it may be. And I'm not perfect either. Like, I'm only now realizing this after being given this great amount of free time and seeing that I spent it pretty badly. I woke up this morning, I had breakfast, had coffee, you know, did a few chores here and there, and then I sat down and I wasted about a few hours of my life to something that I don't really necessarily remember or care that I did. If I was going to do it or if I didn't, it makes no difference. And that's not to say you can't enjoy yourself, you know? You can enjoy yourself, you can play video games and stuff like that, but to sit for hours on end and kind of waste away your life is kind of sad. So, in conclusion, I didn't want this to be like a parent telling a kid that they need to get off their phone or what they're doing is wrong. I just kind of wanted it to be more of something that I experimented on myself with, something that I saw for myself that I saw an issue, even with just me, and I can just imagine what some people might be going through, just not even knowing that they're addicted to these apps. Because nowadays, people really make you feel like you need to have these things in your life. People make you feel like you need to have Instagram. People make you feel like you need to have Snapchat. And you don't. I'm not missing anything. And I had a lot of friends that were on Snapchat, you know? I'm not really missing anything from those apps. I'm not missing anything from not being able to send those stupid Snapchats or being able to message people or get likes on Instagram and stuff. And you won't either. I think give it a try, at least for a week or a month. And if you feel like you don't need it, then you've accomplished something, in my opinion, that's awesome. You've accomplished something that's worthy of praise because not a lot of people nowadays don't have social media apps. I every now and then even get people that would ask me like, "Hey man, what's your Instagram or whatever?" And when I tell them that I don't have it, they're genuinely surprised because it's almost like a driver's license nowadays. It's almost like you gotta have it. But you don't really need to have it. It's almost like the same thing as like dead social media, right? I say dead in the sense that there's nobody using it anymore. Kind of like MySpace. Back in the day, people were so obsessed with MySpace, and that was before my time, but I just hear stories that people have, and it makes me sad because they don't need it anymore, they don't use it anymore, and it makes no difference that they're done with it. So, go outside.